to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, I'm Lorraine Rise. How are you guys doing today? You are listening to episode 4, Setting an Intention for Your Job Search. What's going on out there? How is everyone doing? I had kind of a crazy week. Last week, I felt like a lot of things were just kind of converging. Do you ever have those weeks where everything just kind of comes together all at once? That was me last week. It was a little bit crazy, but I think I'm putting everything back to normal. And I had my sister and my nephews over last week. They visited from upstate New York, and they stayed with me for a couple of days, and that's always fun. And it's always kind of crazy to have young boys in the house. They bring such an energy into the house. They bring the heat, that's for sure. Anyone who has young boys knows that. I'm used to having just one little girl here in my house. So it was very cool. It was good. I love my family. I'm so blessed, but boy, it was kind of a crazy week. So back to normal now, back to a new schedule, or my regular schedule. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful start to your week today on Monday. And as usual, I'm live here. It's about lunchtime on the East Coast. So wherever you are listening from, I thank you. And thanks for joining me for this hour. We have a great, great topic to dive into. And one that is really, really, really in my wheelhouse, job searching. And we haven't really actually talked about job searching yet. We're a couple episodes in, and we really haven't dug into this topic just yet. So we've been kind of exploring some other topics. Last week was, talking about engagement at work. We've talked about overcoming fear. There's so many different angles. But today I thought, let's dig into it, because I know there's a lot of people out there job searching, and a large portion of the work that I do and the coaching that I do through WorkSmart is centered really on the job search process, because let's face it, people really hate job searching. They do. I hear this all the time, that people would rather watch paint dry or do almost anything than have to go out there and launch a job search process, because that's what it is, really. It's a process. And I mean, people really hate it. So if you feel that way, you're probably in really, really good company. I think I'm one of those few people who has kind of embraced it. I'm going to share more later in the episode with you today about kind of my job search perspective, but this is something that I've kind of always brought a positive energy to, but I completely understand why a lot of people don't like it. You know, we see it as something that we just have to suffer through. It's just a necessary evil in life, all kinds of things. So I think it makes sense too that a lot of people probably would want to go to a career coach or go to a coach for something like this to kind of ease the pain. You know, we always want to look for help whenever we don't know how to do something, or it's difficult, we don't have time. So it makes sense that because job searching is something that people don't like, that kind of gives me an avenue to help people. They come to a career coach, and I love being able to do that for people. I absolutely love being able to take a little bit of that pain away from people, because it really is kind of on the job training. We don't get really taught how to launch a job search. It's such an important life skill, in my opinion, something that really everybody is going to have to know how to do at some point, but they don't exactly teach you in school. So that's kind of my mission in life. If you don't know me yet, as the owner of Work Smart Career Counseling, that's my mission, is to help take the pain a little bit away from job searching. But really, if I'm doing my job as a coach, then I'm actually helping you and empowering you, teaching you how to take the pain away from yourself with job searching. So that's my mission, is to help you learn how to make this a better process for yourself, for this job search, for the next one, for however many more you have. I want to teach you today how to do it better, how to get it off to a better start. So that's kind of what I mean by setting an intention for your job search. So stick around, and we're going to dive deep into this topic, and I'm going to share some personal experiences, and I'm going to teach you a lot today. I've got 4 steps towards the end of the show that I am going to outline for you so that you can put them right into action and set a clear, transformative direction for your next search. Because here's the thing, and here's one reason why I wanted to explore this topic today. When most people think of a job search, what comes to mind? So what comes to mind for you right now if you were to launch a new search? Resumes, probably. Cover letters, getting on LinkedIn, maybe going to networking events, filling out tons and tons of online applications, I'm sure, right? And those are part of it. Yes, all of those actions usually are part of a job search. But here's the thing. They're not your starting point, ever. Most people, that's where they start. I hear it all the time. The resume is usually the go-to thing, and you're going to need to have a resume. And we'll talk, I'm sure, more about that in a future episode. But that is actually not your first step. I hear it though. Someone will contact me kind of interested in the program, and they'll say, oh, I need to get my resume together. I'm going to be looking for a new job, or I'm going to be changing to careers. So I've got to get my LinkedIn and my resume together. And yes, they do. But that I don't want that to be the very first thing that you think of. All right. If it is, don't worry. It's okay. We're going to correct that today. What I'm going to teach you is the starting point and what I actually want you to do to start your job search if you want to get amazing results. And something tells me that you probably do. All right, so stick around with me for the rest of this hour. That's what we're going to dig into today. But if you are listening to me for the first time and you don't know exactly who I am or what I do, then let's fix that. We can fix that easily. I think the easiest thing for you to do would be to go back and listen to my inaugural show, my debut a couple of weeks ago. It's episode 1, Join the Uprising. And you'll hear more about my own career story and why I started this show, what I do in my private coaching practice. And you'll also learn what a career uprising is. What do I mean? Why did I name the show that? So you'll get everything that you need, and that'll keep me from going into too much detail in every show. And that leaves more time for me to focus on the topic each week. So all of the past episodes too, if you want to kind of catch up to where we are, we're only on episode 4, so shouldn't be too hard, but you can catch up by going to my show page. Go to inflowradio.com, and then you can also visit my website, worksmartcounseling.com. You can learn more about me at both of those websites, and I have a show page right there on inflowradio.com, and you can listen to all the past episodes in your car, wherever you at work, hey, wherever you might be. So, and then you can also, of course, connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm on all of those. So I want to let you know too, before we dive into the topic, that you can call in live and talk to me. I'd love to answer a question for you today, especially if you are in a job search. But if you have any kind of career-related question, you can call in because we are broadcasting live. So I'd love to take your questions and kind of problem solve with you. The number is 1-760-456-7277. All right, guys. So we've got a good meaty topic. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's dig in. So what I want to say first is that I want to talk about that mentality that I kind of alluded to in the intro there. Most people, and I don't blame people, but they have this mentality that job searching is just awful. It's just painful. It takes a long time. Nobody ever really likes it. Nobody wants to do it. And I think most people do feel that way, but that mentality is what gets us into trouble. All right. That's what starts us off on the wrong foot. So I want to kind of correct that. And I want that to kind of be our starting point, because anything that you are trying to do, if you start off from a negative frame of mind, it's like you're doomed from the very, very beginning. You've already created a struggle in your mind. When you approach any kind of project or change or anything in life, when you have a negative frame of mind and you say, oh, this is going to be painful, this is going to be hard, I don't want to do this, you've created resistance right away before you even get off the ground. It happens so quickly, within seconds, that you probably don't even realize it. But what I want you to know, and what I'm going to teach you today, is that you actually have a very powerful, very transformative tool in your kind of metaphorical toolbox there, all right? And that is your deliberate intention. And what I mean by that is where your focus goes, so your life goes. And this includes your job search, anything that you are trying to do. Where your focus goes, so your life and your results will go. And a job search it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Let's not pretend that it isn't. I mean, there's bigger things out there in the world, but we spend large amounts of time at work. And so being happy there matters. Let's not pretend that it doesn't, okay? This is important. So don't you want to approach it thoughtfully? I say this all the time, that a job change is a life change. And it is, because it can really affect your lifestyle. Anyone who's ever been in a job knows this. It bleeds through into every aspect of your life. So if a job change is a life change, would you approach a major transition in your life without having a clear target or a clear intention? You could. People do it all the time, but I wouldn't recommend it. So what this kind of sounds like to people sometimes is they say things like, oh, I'll take anything. I'll take anything at this point, talking about a job, because they're just in a hurry. I hear that a lot. And here's what will happen if you do. You'll end up in the same situation, maybe even worse, but just under a different roof. A different company on the paycheck. Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever known anyone that's happened to? Because I have. I've seen it happen in my own family. I've been at risk for almost doing that myself as well. It's easy to do. You change jobs, but funny, nothing really changes. Within a few months, you're right back to kind of feeling crummy again, the way you did before. What a waste. You were born for so much more than that. But you just weren't really probably taught how to become more than that and how to be more strategic and intentional when you set goals and make them happen. But here's why that happens. That scenario of, run into another job and nothing ever really changes. Okay, here's why that happens. You can essentially approach your job search in one of two ways. This is typically how it happens. All right, and you may not state it exactly this way, but this is typically how it works. You are either running away from a negative job or running towards a positive one. Now, I know these things are going to sound like the same thing at first, but they are not. Not even close, really. And let me elaborate. When you are running away from something, you have no real target, right? The point is just to get out as fast as you can. And this happens to people when they're in a bad situation and they kind of go into that, oh, I'll take anything mode. I'll take anything. I just need to get out from where I'm at, right? The problem with this approach is that your focus, and therefore your intention, is on running or escaping. And you could potentially run forever. And I do mean forever. Now, think about this. That doesn't mean that you won't get a new job necessarily. You might. But you haven't actually fixed anything. And the reason that you want to leave your current job, I'm assuming, is because you want to fix something. Something is broken. Something's not working for you, right? That's why you want to get out. You wouldn't be leaving otherwise. But without a positive direction and intention, your problems are very likely to follow you to the next job. And you'll be like a hamster in a wheel, just spinning and just running because you're focused on get out, get out. You've got that mentality of I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. Now, the other approach that you could take is to run towards something positive. In this approach, you are still leaving your old job, but your intention and your focus is on this great new job that's waiting for you. Your focus is not on what you're leaving behind, it's on what you're gaining. And you believe it's out there. You know it's out there. And you can't wait to get out there and start looking for it. Even though you might not like the job search process, and no one says that you actually have to, not even me. I'm not saying that you have to just be like, oh my God, I can't wait to do this. It's tough, but I want you to try. All right. I want you to bring overall a positive energy to this process and focus your time, your energy, your thoughts, your feelings, all of it on what you want to go towards. If you don't have a target, you're not really going towards anything. You might be in motion, doesn't mean you aren't in motion. And it doesn't mean you won't necessarily get another job. It just means you might get another job, but you won't actually fix what was broken before. So these are two ways that you can essentially achieve the same thing. The first approach simply gets you a new job. And the second approach gets you one that you might actually want. One that solves what was broken or missing before. Now, in order to take the second approach, we do have to first identify what is the problem in your current job. That way we can solve it. So we need to be very, very clear on that. And I'm a big fan, you've probably heard me say this before, I'm a big fan of writing things down. So I would highly recommend get out a piece of paper, journal, Word document, little, notes app on your phone, whatever your style is, and help yourself to set a positive intention by writing things down. I believe words take on new meaning when they hit the paper. Now they're like alive. Now they're kind of something new. They're not just in your head. Now they're real, right? And you can read them back to yourself and remind yourself of them. But I want you to ask yourself some questions before you apply for a job. Or if you're already there, you're already kind of applying for things, that's okay. Start now before you apply for the next one. I want you to ask yourself some of these questions. Okay, so number one, I'm assuming you've gotten your pen and paper out, right? Here are some questions that I often ask clients when I have my first coaching session with them. And my goal in that session is to to learn myself, but help them to learn. What change do they want to make? Why are they doing this? What is the goal? What is their intention? You don't always call it that, but that's really what I'm doing. I'm helping them set an intention for this search. I don't go right for, okay, let's fix up your resume. I want to know first what you want to do with that resume and what you want to be in your next job. So here's one question. Number one, what did I enjoy about my last position? And this seems like a really simple question, I know. But our goal here is to isolate the good parts of your last position. And I'm sure there were some, because we want to be able to identify those good things again in the next role. So number one, very simply, write down, what did you enjoy about your last position? What was good about it? If you could just pretend to extract those good things and carry them with you to the next role, what would they be? Number two, you may guess this one. We're going to do the flip now. What did you not enjoy? Because again, our goal here is to isolate the negative parts so we can hopefully leave those behind. And in order to recognize these things in your next job, you need to identify them. What do I love? What do I not love? What do I want to do more of? What do I want to stop doing? All right, so those are the first two questions. What did I enjoy about my last position, and what did I not enjoy? Here's a good one. And I ask this to a lot of clients just this way. What's the most important thing that needs to be different in this next job for this to be a meaningful change for you? And you notice how I put in a meaningful change, because I'm hinting again there at what I said earlier, that you can make a job change, but it's not guaranteed that it's going to be a meaningful change. All right? Unless you have a positive and clear direction and intention about why you're doing this and what you're looking to find. So what's the most important thing that needs to be different for this new job to be meaningful for you? Number 4, and this kind of harkens back to episode 3, if you haven't listened to that one, how to be more engaged at work. But number 4, how do I need to be different in this role? Yes, you're changing jobs, but I want you to ask yourself, maybe the job doesn't just need to change. Maybe there's a way that you can change as well. Might as well take this time, right, to take stock and kind of take inventory of yourself a little bit. So number 4, how do I need to be different in this next role? Number 5, what am I trying to solve by changing jobs? Write it down, claim it, own it. What is the reason for this? What am I trying to solve? So Maybe you just weren't making enough money. Sometimes that's what it comes down to, right? Maybe you're seeking a higher salary. Maybe you are seeking upward mobility. You felt stuck, you felt complacent. So you want to move up to that next level. Maybe you just need to move closer to home to improve your lifestyle because you're driving so far. God, here in the DC area, that's a big thing. It's the commuting. That's a big thing. People, it's like commuter nation here. Maybe that would make a huge difference for you. Quality of life. Or maybe you're changing careers altogether. You don't like what you're doing and you want to do something else. This could be any number of things, and maybe it's more than one thing. But write that down. What are you trying to solve by changing jobs? Number 6, what needs healing in this process? So that's kind of the same one a little bit. 5 and 6 are similar. What needs healing in this process? And I'll let you interpret that any way you want. Healing within you, healing in the job, but we're trying to heal and fix something here. And here's the kicker, number 7. This is the last one. And this one is big, guys. Okay. If you only do one of these 7 questions, I want you to do this one. How do I want my new job to make me feel? Was that surprising for you that was the most important one? Let me explain. All right. How do I want my new job to make me feel? Because I promise you, no matter why you're leaving your current job or why you're looking for a new job, no matter why, you are chasing a feeling. It always comes down to our emotions and our feelings. You want to feel a different way because our jobs make us feel a certain way. Our jobs can make us feel fulfilled and exciting and engaged. Give us a purpose, right? A purpose to our day. It can make you can feel appreciated at work, or you could be feeling all of the opposite things. Right now, you could be feeling drained, exhausted. You could be feeling, just underappreciated. You could be feeling bored. There are always feelings attached to our work, often deep ones. So when you're looking to make a change, you are looking to feel a different way. That is really the end point. That's the goal, is to feel better, even if it's money. All right. There's a feeling attached to everything, because I know what you might be thinking. You might be saying, well, okay, hold up, Lorraine. I'm just leaving my current job because they pay me peanuts, right? I don't make enough money. That's not about my feelings. That's about my bottom line. Oh, no, 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 my friends. No. Trust me. It's always about feelings. There is an energy and a feeling associated with everything, including money. And I'm going to do a show on this. It's coming up probably in June. All right. Because there's a lot more I could say on this topic. But everything has feelings attached to it. So I want you to write down, how do you want your new job to make you feel? Because I promise you, that is what you are after. You want to feel more appreciated. You want to feel more alive. You want to feel more creative. Whatever it is, you fill in the blanks, because we could be here all day. All right. But that's what I want you to focus on. And that is going to really accelerate your results. And you may not believe me right now, but I want you to just give it a try. I really do. Just give it a try. And maybe even take it a step further and just close your eyes for a minute and imagine how you want to feel at work and actually feel it for a minute. If you haven't tried that and you've been looking for work and you're not getting the right results, I want you to get in touch with how you want this new job to make you feel. All right? Okay. So we're going to take a short commercial break in just a minute here. When we come back, I am going to share with you a little bit more about how I personally approached job searches in my job seeking days. And I have plenty of job searching experience, and how I was able to bounce back so quickly. All right. So I'm going to share 4 specific steps for you on how to set a powerful intention for your job search. All right. So we're coming right back. Stay tuned. Hey, everyone. While the show takes just a quick break, I want to invite you to connect with me personally to get help in your career. If you like what you've heard so far, sign up for my mailing list so you can be a part of my community. I offer all kinds of career-related advice, and I have a free guide that I created just for you called Strategies for Interview Success, and you'll get it instantly in your inbox as soon as you sign up. Head over to worksmartcounseling.com/sign up. That's worksmart, counseling.com/sign up. Or go to my show page on infloradio.com and get on the list today. All right, let's get back to the show. I'd love to answer your questions. Give me a call in today's episode, recorded live, by dialing the U.S. number 1-760-456-7277. That's 1-760-456-7277, and let's see how we can improve your career. Okay, folks, and we are back, having a nice little chat there about the job search process. So thanks for sticking with me. All right. So what we're talking about today is how to set a powerful and positive intention and direction in your job search or career change. All right, because what I want you to do is to be far more strategic and thoughtful than you probably ever were before you even get started. Because I want you to take control of where you're going and not be on default. All right. So it occurred to me too that I've been, in the first part of this episode, I've been talking about how all of this applies to leaving one job and going to another. But what if you're unemployed? I don't want to overlook that. It occurred to me that somebody might be thinking, well, okay, I'm not leaving a toxic job. I'm not running away from a job. I don't have one. So how does this apply to me, right? So thinking about the comparison that I made earlier, you might be thinking, well, I'm not running from anything. So thinking about either running away from something negative, right? Or running towards something positive. You might be thinking, well, if I'm unemployed and I don't have a job, I'm kind of good in a way, right? Because I'm not running away from a negative job. Obviously, I'm running towards a positive job, right? Not so fast. Maybe not. I want to visit this because this is an important point. There's always something that we can potentially be running from, even if it's not another job. Okay, because what this is, it's a mindset that we get into. We create resistance, and you can create resistance to almost anything. So if you're unemployed, what you might be running from is unemployment itself. All right. So what I mean by that is you, instead of saying things like, oh, I hate this job, I have to get out so fast, what you might be saying to yourself is, oh my God, I hate being unemployed. I'm going to be unemployed forever. No one's going to hire me, right? People get in that negative frame of mind. That's running from unemployment. Oh my God, I have to get employed as fast as I can. I have to get a new job. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, right? You get into that panic mode, and I don't blame you. Trust me, I've been unemployed 3 or 4 times, something like that, a lot, okay? So I know what you're going through, but don't think that this doesn't apply to that. If you are looking for work and you don't have any work right now, be careful that you're not falling into that same trap as the person in the toxic job and saying, I have to just get out of this situation as fast as I can. Yeah, you want to, but the fastest way to do that is to run towards something positive. Don't focus on the unemployment and the fact that you don't have a job. The process really is the same for you in that situation. It really is the same. So just keep that in mind. I wanted to mention that because I thought, I'm putting a lot of emphasis here on running away from a job that you don't want to be in, but it doesn't matter if you don't have one or not. You need to make sure that your energies and that your focus and the words that you say, because they're so powerful, are focused on where you want to go. All right? Because what you may be inadvertently setting the intention of continuing to be unemployed or continuing to be in that negative job by focusing on that. So shift your focus. This is more powerful than you could ever believe. All right? So let me tell you a little bit about my story here. Some of you, if you've kind of been listening or if you've worked with me, you might know a little bit about it. But I speak so authoritatively on the subject of job searching, and it's one of my favorites because I know it so well. I know it so well. I have been in more job searches than you would probably believe. All right. So here's kind of my story in a nutshell. I spent the better part of my 20s, like that whole decade, looking for work. And I never intended it to be that way. I never wanted to set out to be one of those millennials, that stereotype of they're always changing jobs every couple of, years, about as much as they change their clothes. It's like they're changing jobs. That was never me. It was never my intention. But things don't always happen the way that we think, right? Sometimes things are out of our control because we're always dealing with other people's energies and other people's agendas and that type of thing. So it's all kind of in the mix together. So what ended up happening to me was layoff after layoff. And it was always a little bit different. Maybe the company would get bought out. I've had companies just cave in and just implode 100% that they don't even exist anymore. That happened. So right out of college, I got a job at one weight loss center. Well, they imploded. They were gone within I had only been there about 3 months. Financially, just went under. So that's when I got the job at Jenny Craig. I got a job at another weight loss center, doing the same thing, managing, coaching people to lose weight, that type of thing. And I was there for a good number of years until I got laid off there again. So and I'm giving you guys the real high level version here. But then after spending about 5 or 6 years there, I got laid off. So I was unemployed for a couple of weeks and I took a temp job, which was wonderful. So while I continued to look for work, I had a little bit of a paycheck coming in because I had a temporary job just as a contractor, which is a great thing to do. If you're ever in that situation, I highly recommend it. But that was temporary. It could have gone permanent after the 3 months, but guess what? It didn't. There I was again. I had just been laid off, 3 or 4 months prior, and they weren't going to renew my contract. So I was back on the job search train again, whether I wanted to or not. Notice I didn't quit any of these jobs. I'm not a quitter. And that's okay. Sometimes you can quit, but I didn't quit any of these jobs. They were all taken out from under me. All right, so there was that one. Then I got another job a couple of weeks after that. Guess what, guys? I got laid off from that one too. A year later, it happened again. And I got so good at job searching. Guess what happened? After I got laid off with that one, I had another job within like 3 weeks. I didn't even claim unemployment at that point. I was interviewing before I even had my last day. I had mastered this job search process because I had been in it so much. And I didn't have this negative view of it because I guess I just knew how to do it. It was just the way things were going for me. But the bottom line here is that in 7 years, I was laid off 5 times. That's a lot, guys. 5 times in 7 years? I didn't quit any of those jobs. That's about the time I just said, well, hell, I'm just going to start my company. And that is a lot of the reason why I started my coaching practice, to create some stability for myself, because I wasn't finding it in the corporate world. I wasn't finding it at all. And it was ironic because everyone, thinks of the traditional job, the traditional 9-to-5 work for a company kind of work arrangement as being the steady paycheck and the secure way of making money. And the funny thing is, it was anything but for me. The most steady, reliable paycheck or job I've ever had is the one I have now, the one I created for myself out of thin air. That's a whole nother story. But what I want you to know is that I found myself in job search after job search, and not one of them did I ask for myself. I never quit and just said, I'm going to go out and look for something else. I was thrown into them, every single one. But despite all of them, my longest period of unemployment was 5 weeks out of 5 layoffs. That's right, a measly 5 weeks. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, some people may say, and there may be some truth to this, some people may say, well, you were in your 20s. It's not that hard, to find a job when you're 25 versus 55. And that is true. I do believe that. But at the same time, I was applying for fairly entry-level positions because I was very early career. I wasn't even applying for management positions, anything like that. I really believe that for the most part, my competition were young people like me. It was a pretty level playing field. It really was. I don't think that people who were in their 50s were applying for the jobs I was applying for. These were entry-level HR jobs. So it was pretty level playing field there, I think there. I'll tell you why I believe I was so successful. All right. First, here's kind of what my job search activity kind of looked like. Here's what I remember about those times. I remember taking pretty aggressive action. And I mean, I applied for jobs like it was my full-time job. You have to take massive action when you're trying to bring about a change. You have to. Action is everything. Of course, it starts with your thoughts and then your emotions and your beliefs. But usually you act on things. Once you have those in place, then you act on the things that you think and feel and believe, right? So they all kind of work in tandem with each other. But taking massive action is really, really important. It's not, the action alone won't do it. You have to have all the other elements in place too. But I applied for a lot of jobs every single day. I devoted time to it. My focus and my attention was there. I had jobs that I felt pretty comfortable with, and then I had my stretch jobs, the ones that were kind of, it would be nice to have. I applied for all of them. I remember working pretty happily on my resume, being pretty active on LinkedIn once it was invented. Some of my job searches were pre-LinkedIn days, so I didn't even have that tool in my toolbox, which all of you guys have now. But I remember doing all of those things. And what I remember most, though, is the feeling that I had. Because remember, that's the most important thing. I remember feeling happy and excited to do this. I really did. Even though I didn't ask for any of these job searches. They were handed to me. But I did not resist. I did not fight against it. I went with it. I went with the flow of life and just believed that they were happening for whatever reason. Whenever you're going through something tough, the question that you ask yourself is never, why is this happening to me? It's, what can I learn from this? What can I make of this? I really remember the thoughts and the feelings that I had around that time. And that's where the magic happens. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, okay? And I remember saying to myself something pretty much to the effect of, I believed that whoever was going to get me next, whatever employer hired me next, was going to be really lucky. And I know that may sound shallow, but it's not. You should feel that way about yourself. I really believed in myself, that I had a lot of energy and a lot of talent and a lot of just hard work ready to offer somebody. And I remember feeling a sense of excitement about going back to work. I felt kind of like the world was my oyster, really. And I could go anywhere and do anything, even though I didn't know what it was all going to look like. It was only a matter of time before I found that place that I was meant to land. I knew, without a doubt, that I was not going to be unemployed forever. I never believed that. And even though I didn't know what it was going to look like, how long it was going to take, or any of those things, I knew that I would work again. And I kept taking action until it happened. I focused, and I realize this now, that I was focusing on what I wanted and what was ahead of me and not what was behind me. And I don't think I even did it on purpose. I've come really far in my own just emotional, professional, spiritual development that I can look back on it now and go, I was setting an intention. I didn't call it that then. I didn't know that that's what I was doing. But I know what it is now. And I'm challenging you to do the same thing. Set a directive for this. Be intentional about it. Okay, put a name to it. It's called setting an intention. It is my intention to get an amazing new job where I am loved and appreciated and well paid. I love going to work. I'm excited to get up every day and go to work. It's amazing. I love the work I do. It's creative and I'm fulfilled. I mean, listen to the tone of my voice as I say that. If you are looking for work right now and you're not thinking that and feeling that and saying that, that's why you're not getting better results. That's your starting point. Okay? Put emotion into it, man. Get into it. I really want to challenge you. If you're not thinking and talking like that, change that. And then I want you to email me and tell me if it's not working. Give it some time, okay? But be in charge of the energy that you bring to this process and to this job search. And watch yourself have amazing results. Watch yourself get back to work in 5 weeks, okay? And I will tell you too, please don't think that every second of my job search was just butterflies and roses, okay? I faced plenty of rejection. I would apply to tons of jobs and hear nothing or get a rejection email. I know all of that. So I'm not going to pretend that it's all just rosy and easy, but let's also not pretend that you're not in control, right? You are kind of in control. You are more than you think you are. All right? You're in control by setting the intention and controlling the energy and the attitude that you bring to this. You can decide. I'm going to be as bold as saying that you can decide how easy or how difficult it is to get a job. All right, now I'm getting ahead of myself because I've got 4 steps I want to outline for you guys in just a second here. Because that was step 1. But I just want to say that I've faced plenty of rejection and plenty of frustration, but I never let it deter me. I never stopped, okay? So I don't want to run ahead of time here, guys. I've got 4 steps here for you, okay? To help you set a clear intention and direction. Step 1, I want you to examine your beliefs about how easy or how difficult you think it is to get a job, because it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy either way. If you believe job searching is hard, it will be, because you've created resistance in your mind already. It's already a battle. The battle lines are drawn in seconds as soon as you say that. So I want you to say this instead. I am eager to start this search. I feel energized, productive, and ready to take on this process. That's step 1. Examine your beliefs about the job search process. Step 2, get clear on how your new job is going to make you feel. I want you to spend time here. Ignore the details about the company name or the title of the job. Ignore that for now. I want you to spend a few minutes each day closing your eyes, seeing yourself at work, and feeling how you want to feel. So, for example, say to yourself, I choose now to let go of the old feelings that I used to have around my work. Those old feelings of being stuck, depressed, trapped. I no longer need those feelings. They don't serve me anymore. Now I know there's a better job waiting for me where I will feel joyful, appreciated, creative, fulfilled, well compensated. I love the way my new job makes me feel, and I love going to work every day. Okay? Step 3, take a few minutes each day to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and visualize yourself going to work happy and coming home happy. See it happening. Remember, we don't care exactly what your job title is or where this job is actually located or what the company is. None of that matters. You don't need that to do this visualization. Just see yourself there every day. See that big paycheck going into the bank and repeat this process as often as you need for as long as you need. And then the last step, step 4, take action, baby. Get out there. Take inspired action. Start talking to people. Tell people you're looking for work. Apply for jobs. Go out there to events. Set up coffee dates. Whatever you need to do. This is where I'm finally now giving you permission to actually start applying for jobs. Notice we had all those other steps first. Okay? This is the last step. This is where most people start. And that's why they don't really end up where they want to be. Okay? You're only applying once you know how you want your new job to make you feel and what you're going to fix in this process. And then, so now when I say take massive action, that doesn't just mean go on the job boards and apply for 1,000 jobs. Okay? It also means make meaningful connections with people. And it's not always about quantity. Sometimes it's about the quality. One little step can have massive implications sometimes. Okay? So think about those steps. So really quick, because we're coming up to the end here. Step 1, examine your beliefs about how easy or difficult it is to get a job and believe that it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. 2, get clear on how your new job will make you feel. 3, take time each day to feel those feelings, to visualize it happening. Okay? And then step 4, finally, is to start applying and taking action. Okay? Whew! What do you guys think? We covered a lot of ground there. I really got into it. I love it when I kind of get in the zone. Hopefully you got in the zone with me a little bit. So think about all of that, guys, okay? I hope I gave you a lot to chew on there for your next job search. I don't want to overwhelm you. I want you to see this as a good thing, all right? But there's always inner work that has to be done before the outside will change, okay? All right. So guys, I'm going to have to let you go in a few minutes here, but don't forget to join my email community. I actually just put out a fresh blog post today all about resume writing. So that may help you too. Go to worksmartcounseling.com. Get on my email list, okay? And you can be one of the first to get those emails. And you can also connect with me via my new Facebook group called Career Uprising. It's open to everyone. So find me, hang out with me there, send me your questions. And I'd love feedback too on the show or any new topics, anything like that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We are done. Man, that hour always flies for me. But anyway, I'll be back next week with another topic. So I want you guys to go out there and be fierce. And I'll catch up with you next time. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.